Hey, what's going on, everyone? Nikki Limitless here for another episode of Mindset. So let's go and how to build your mindset. So today's topic is reading, listening to books, and podcasts, right? So I'm going to tell you the importance and I'm going to share some books with you and some people to listen to and follow on podcasts. All right. And I love this part because this is what changed my life. This is what's changed my mindset. This is what's helped me learn and develop and become the man I'm being now and going forth and who I'm going to become. Right. Um, so and I say read and listen to books and podcasts, right? Because you could read a book, listen to a book, and then obviously listen to a podcast. I would do all three. I started out listening to podcasts and books, and then I realized just recently that reading, it's a different skill, and you get a different you get like something different out of it, right? Like you it just paints different pictures in your head than like if you were listening. You're still getting ideas, um, but it just gives you a different dynamic, a different level when you actually physically read a book than just listening to a book. But I do prefer listening over reading any day. But I'm seeing the benefits of it. So why listen and why read? Well, I'm just gonna say read, so I mean listen as well. But why read a book? Because one, you get ideas. Two, it gets your brain cranking, right? Get your brains to start thinking. And three, it helps build you up. It works the brain muscle, right? People go to the gym, they go to work out, they do bench to get big chest, right? The biceps for the curls for the girls, right? And so what does that help you do, right? It helps build that muscle. So when you read, you're building your brain muscle and you're building your attention, your focus, right? Your ability to, listen. Like if you're listening to a book, it helps you listen to people better and like take in the information they're saying, and it develops that endurance, right? So when people are talking for a long time, you can hear everything because you have an endurance of listening to a book. Um, and as well as like reading, right? If the reason why you hear like Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, you know, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, they all read books, right? And a lot of them say they read because they say, well, one, they want to gain knowledge, right? Because we're forever growing, but at the same time, it helps you, build the attention and the focus. So then if you have to read contracts, you can read them. Obviously, they probably hire people to read contracts, but I'm sure they still look at them. Um, yeah. So this right here, and personal, this stems from personal development, right? But this right here is the cure of mindset, right? Like if you went to the doctor, said your leg hurts, and they gave you a prescription, or they said, hey, go to this physical therapist to help you fix your leg, right? So you can move it properly. Like that's the the diagnose, right? The diagnosis to like solve the problem. This right here, if you have a crap mindset, or if you're not where you want to be, or if you're unhappy in the moment, read, listen to books and podcasts, right? That's the cure, right? If you're not happy with yourself, listen to a book, right? If you're not happy with your surroundings, listen to a book. If you're not happy with anything, listen to a book, right? Because it elevates your thinking so you could change. We are the creators of what's in front of us, right? So everything that's in front of you right now, be it your computer or your phone that you're looking at, but everything else outside of that and around the world, like around in your perspective, that's all a creation of you, right? Because if you're living in New York, right, and you're looking at buildings all the time and you're upset about that and you want to see like tropical weather and trees and beaches, you could create that. You just have to figure out how to do that to get there, right? And this helps. So listening and reading books is a key ingredient to making the mind better, right? So another iteration, another way of thinking is like baking a cake. You need certain ingredients to make the cake so then it like cooks properly. Here you go. thinking your mind is a cake and you need this ingredient of books and podcasts, right? And then the mind develops and grows and it inflates with knowledge. But if you put the wrong type of knowledge, it'll deflate after, right? So that's why I'm going to give you a list of books and podcasts, or not even the podcast, but more of people or podcast channels to listen to. Um, like it's literally changed my life. It's helped me build my self-esteem back up and, bring me to places that I would never be, and around people that I've never would imagine to be around. Like I was around Glenn Stearns, um, and he's a billionaire, right? So it puts me in the door near those people. Why? Because I'm on the same frequency, learning the same information, and if not, more information than them, right? Because eventually we surpass the ones who are at the top level. So it just depends where you want to go. I mean, I'm talking to the people who want to strive for more always, right? But if there's people who just want to hit a certain level, that's fine. But to be honest, if you're okay with that, then like you're gonna hit that level and then you're gonna start to deflate and die basically. Because if you're not growing, you're dying. Um, but yeah, so this is the all be all, everything you need, right? For like this will increase your mindset, which will increase your income, which will increase your life, your joyfulness, your happiness, your friends. Like you'll increase the level of friends that you have, not the number, but more of the level of the person, right? So there's a lot of benefits, and when you start quoting books, you're on a different level, right? You're on a different level, and you're quoting people who are significant, right? And Ty Lopez, he always has the books behind him, like a ton of books, like his bookshelf with a ton of books, and he reads all his books and his focus. I seen him on Grant Cardone's 10x challenge. This is a while ago, but he was saying he likes to read history, right? Because he likes to see what has happened and how it's showing up now and how he can like step in, intervene, and like make the change, right? So it helps you as a trader. If you're trading, most likely you're a trader. If you're following this, you want to know stuff like that because it helps you figure out the markets, right? Like, oh, where it's been or prior, markups and patterns, and it helps you show, and then you could go and find your way to take profit, right? Your strategy. So yeah, so it's very important to listen and read books, right? So I'm going to give you some trading books, and I'm going to give you just mindset books, right? And my first the first one I want to say like has there's two books that have done a lot of work for me, so I want to share it with you. And it's this is like most important, must read, right? It's called The Trilogy of the Science of Being Rich. There's three books attached to it. You could buy the one book of The Science of Being Rich, but why? When you get the trilogy for the same price on Audible, right? You go on Audible, you get The Trilogy of the Science of Being Rich, Wallace D. Wattles, right? That book will tell you everything you need to know. And then after you get that book, right, there's a book called The Four Agreements, right? This one is a great book. This has to do with a lot of internal stuff. That book changed my life and made me understand, right? And I'll go back to Wallace D. Wallace, but that book helped me to understand that I'm worth something and I can do more, be more, have more, right? And it's only a decision within ourselves, right? Because a lot of times we think we do these things and we think less of ourselves. But if you envision, or not even envision, I don't have the money in front of me, but let's just say I have $100 bill, right? I have $100 bill and I fold it in half and I rip it and I stomp it in dirt, right? And then I open it back up. Is it still $100 bill? Yes. Right? So you're the same thing. If you're that 100 or trillion, million, whatever amount, and you fold it up, throw dirt on it, spit on it, stomp on it, punch it, beat it up, and then you unfold it, are you still that? Yeah, you're still the value. You don't lose value. If anything, you grow in value always. So my child's making noise, but it's okay. I love family. That's why it says God, family, 4x. Let's go. So All right. So Wallace D. Waddles, like the science of being rich, like he spits straight facts throughout the whole book of like what you should do, like taking action on these things, right? How to think, how to move, how to operate. You want that book. So he gives you everything you need. All right. So another book, 10x, right? Grant Cardone. Anything Grant Cardone. Cardone is a genius. He helps you push through barriers. He continuously pushes the limits. He says what everyone else is saying. He says, "Don't do that. Do this." Right? Like he just goes against like the norm, the social norm, and I love it. Right? So 10x, be obsessed or be average. Right? And if you're not if you're not first, you're last. Right? And then any book by Cardone is absolutely amazing. All right, so people to follow in podcasts, and I'm gonna wrap this up. Brad Lee, Jim Quick, Ed Milet, Grant Cardone, Garyvee. Now each one of them is a different kind of like shot to the arm, right? Brad Lee is very straightforward. Oh, and I forgot to say one, Andy Frisella, right? Brad Lee's very straightforward. Andy Frisella is very straightforward. They keep it honest and real. Jim Quick is about building your brain and you becoming limitless, right? Ed Milet, he connects with people on a way that I've never seen anyone connect with, and he comes with he's very intentional with people and how he speaks. Grant Cardone, he's real estate, he's sales, he's a beast. This guy, like he'll fire you up, and you know everything he does is moving forward and pushing his kingdom and his whole movement forward. 10x, 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 right? So Garyvee, he's the kick in the ass that you need, right? If and he mostly speaks to young entrepreneurs, but it's anybody who needs that kick in the ass because you just keep procrastinating. He's straight up. He gives you what you need, and you know the guy's very big into NFTs and like he looks in the crypto space because NFT. His whole thing is like garage sale, right? Find stuff in the garage sale that's worth more than $1 that you're paying for it, and then flip it on eBay or wherever, right? On different platforms. Ed Milet, he comes from an insurance background and WFG World Financial Group, and he has elevated himself tremendously, putting himself in doors that a lot of people like they don't even. He's meeting people that you would be like, wow, how the heck did he get there? And he's just an average guy, right? And Grant Cardone, he went from 25 doing a whole bunch of drugs and drinking to changing his life. He's 64, I believe, or 65 now. And the dude's like super fit, has a beautiful family, right? So this guy, he knows what he's doing. And then Brad Lee, like he's a man and he just keeps it straight. Like he shoots straight and his thing's called dropping bombs, right? So that's what he likes to do. And then Andy Vasella, he's the owner of First Form, which is a supplement company, right? So he's with, but when he talks, it's about mindset. He talks about his business, but it's all about mindset. His thing he created was 75 hard challenge on top of First Form, right? So 75 hard challenge. All right, y'all, but those are some podcasts. Those are some books. Listen and read every day, daily reading, daily podcast at minimum 1 hour. But if you can't do 1 hour, start with 30 minutes and then grow, right? 30 minutes and then tomorrow 31 minutes and then tomorrow the next day 32, so on and so forth, right? Add a minute every day. That's what I've been doing. And the way to grow or find gaps, because some people are like, I don't have time to do this. Okay, create time, right? Because there's a lot of mindless activity you're doing, right? Look, I'm doing this video and I have my child here yelling at me, right? Because she wants me to look at her. So create time. When you're washing the dishes, listen to Audible or listen to the podcast. When you're taking a shower, put it on. When you're on the toilet, put it on. When you're driving in your car, education on wheels, put it on, right? Those are times where you can find to do that, right? Because nobody wants to just sit and listen to a book. So do something, because anyway, while you're doing something, the action creates, like, it gives you freedom to hear without like blocking. For me, that's how it works. when I'm doing something and I'm listening to a book, it goes to my subconscious and I hear it and I'm like ideas start sparking. So it's very important to do this daily, 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 right? So excuseless. Take away excuses. Whoever's like, oh, I'm not gonna do this. All right, you should do it. Anytime you feel resistance, push through, do it. All right, because it's not about what you don't want to do. It's about what you need to do, what you have to do, especially if you have family, right? But that's a whole other topic. All right, guys, that's it. All right, if you got questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the chat. Like this video, share this video, click the bell so you know when the next video drops. All right, love you all, appreciate y'all. I'm Nikki Limitless. I am a man. I am a day trader. What more do you need to know? Take it easy.